Hi, I'm Dave, and I love making combat robots. And today I want to share with you one of my tricks I use when I'm coming up with my next combat robot design. It's important to get an idea of the layout and where everything's going to be in the robot. And sometimes I don't have those components that I'm going to use to make the bot. So it's important to have an idea of the size of those pieces before I spend any money on the parts that I don't have. So here's a trick that I use sometimes when I'm looking to use a 3D printer or using printouts and paper.
Okay, so in this case I'm going to use McMaster.com to find the V-belt pulley that I want to try out, a couple different sizes. If you click on the model number, you can get a product info page. That info page then has 3D files that you can download, and I'll download that and import it into Fusion 360. You can use any CAD program that you're interested in, and if you want to, you can modify the part further. But in this case, I just want to print it as is. So I'm going to select that first body that has the V-belt pulley itself, and just right-click and save to STL. So then I'll load it into my slicer program for 3D printing. One note, the output from McMaster will be in imperial units, so if you are printing in millimeters, then you'll need to scale it up by 25.4 to get the right size. So there it is, printing. In the same fashion, you can also get files from other sources like GrabCAD, where you might be able to download specific models that you're looking to use for your robot. In this case, I'm doing the same thing. I'm downloading the file, loading it into my CAD program, turning it into an STL that I can then print. You may want to adjust the detail level. You may have to do some tricks to get everything to merge, but it's definitely a helpful way to get additional parts that you need. I want to get a motor, a weapon motor, and I am checking out the sizes for this motor I'm thinking about getting. So I am going to make a paper model of this file. So I like using templatemaker.nl. There are other places where you can get templates made to your dimensions. So I'm just going to tweak the size here to get something kind of circular, so I can get an idea of the size and scale of this part. So after I finish making those sizes, I can export to a number of different formats. I'm just going to use SVG, and then I can just print it out to a piece of paper. So after I get that printed out, I'll take my alpha and start cutting out the shape. And then after I bend the pieces into place, I'll use some spray adhesive to kind of put the parts together. But you can use pretty much any glue.
Okay, so with the parts that I've made here, I can start adding them to the parts that I already have to get an idea of what the layout of this robot might look like. Visualize my gearbox for these motors. So weapon disc sitting underneath as an undercutter. I could, direct mount the weapon motor, but I think that's a bad idea. I'd like to have these, let's see, let's sit right up there. Well, from my concept, it looks like the motor that I was thinking about using seems awfully large.